Okay, sometimes you just got to go for it. I am back in my car because we're at another practice, and I do have a couple of days compiled into one post that I want to share with you. I thought that the last one I had was everything I'd written up to the point, but I discovered that I was actually on top of it, and I definitely had a few more days written ahead of time. So I definitely want to get this recorded for you guys. So welcome to Tinge of Bravery. I'm Darlene, and you can find me on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and on Facebook on my blog, Tinge of Bravery. And I do have a new blog online called Unmaking a Mess. And so please be sure to check that out, and I'll try to provide a link in the comment section on my YouTube page. So anyway, I'm going to be reading again from my computer, so you will see me diverting my eyes every now and then. And I've got a lot written down here, but it all kind of like flowed together. So I didn't want to like separate it into like even 2 different days. So I really better get on it if I want to keep this at 20 minutes. And this one's going to be kind of tough because I'm going to get pretty real here. So I hope I do it appropriately. I think I will. So it was December 16th, and this was after we had went to the wrestling match that we didn't get to see. Well, we got up and we went back the next day, and it began really well. We made it, and we got to see one match, which was really good. And then afterwards, we headed to my daughter's volleyball scrimmage. And so I think that's where, I kind of get into some real honesty here, because my daughter really gets into volleyball so much that she decided to give up club softball to really focus on her volleyball. And that was part of the reason why she got onto this other team, because she really takes it serious. And so she really strives hard to be good and do things outside of even the course of practices. Um, she also has fun and really smiles a lot throughout the entire time. I don't know how to help her, like when she gets frustrated over like the lack of effort or seriousness um, of others. And so we're working through that quite a bit right now. She wants to be seen and noticed. And so I don't like downplay it or, disregard her desire to really be all in for volleyball, because, it does cost quite a bit. And, you know, it is a lot of what she thinks about. It's not like an idol, so please get your mind out of the Christian gutter. That's not what I'm implying here. My daughter, loves every part of volleyball, and I think she really prioritizes it in the absolute appropriate way. I watched a movie about Tim Tebow, and I really like him because he is diehard serious about, or he was about his football, and still was able to really focus and apply a sincere dedication, to the Lord. And I think that's kind of Clara too. I'm not trying to say, hey, Clara is like Tim, but I think there are players out there that, you can be totally serious about a sport, and you can also um, be an example that others may need to see as well. And maybe that's why God has you in this position. So, anyway, it was just kind of something that I thought about. There have been stories out there about teams that get turned around, so there may be a team out there that's not real serious, or, doesn't, do quite as well. And it's kind of like the Bad News Bears kind of stuff. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm really showing my age here. So look up the Bad News Bears movie, if you would. Um, but anyway, I am trying to figure out a way to really help my daughter, and I really think we're on the right path. At least I hope so. So anyway, moving into the next day, it was almost Christmas time, and I I was really not totally feeling it. I decided to begin my medicine on the 17th, and I actually took one pill that evening to kind of help the anxiety on the spot. I have two different kinds of pills, one that I have to take on a regular basis, and then one that is kind of like on the spot when I know I'm going to be approaching a situation that I may feel anxious in. And so, anyway, I was really hoping that by taking that one on the spot pill, it would kind of keep me from my heart racing when I wake up in the mornings. But I actually started the regular set of pills the next day around 11. And I took it right before attending a Christmas party because I knew that there was a particular, it was just one of those situations that I just don't do good at gatherings. I love them, and yet, like, the onset of them and the anticipation of them, or maybe being around certain people, just kind of makes me anxious. And so, I really had to um, accept that about myself and not feel guilty about it. I'm not the only one that feels that way. So, um, I know there's others that can really relate to this about gatherings. Like, you want to be there, but it makes you anxious, and it's the anticipation of it. But anyway, moving on, honestly, that particular day was not a good day, um, because it was one of those days when I probably should have just kind of kept my mouth shut. It was one of those days where, the anxiousness of what my daughter was feeling about team sports and everything was just resonating on me. Are you ever in those situations like when your son or daughter is feeling something and you just totally absorb it because you're just encased in their life? How do you not absorb what they are feeling? And so I carry a lot of that weight on me. And so in a particular message, I might have said something to the effect of that, if a player is going to be on a certain team, they should be doing all they can to improve, even outside of practices, and really applying themselves. I don't understand families that can afford to pay over $3,000 for a particular team and not expect their son or daughter to put in more effort, or take it more serious. It's so much money to invest. And there's other things I can say after talking to other parents that who could really relate to me. And so let me just stick to the script here. But I did talk to a lot of people. And so after visiting with several other parents and seasoned moms that have been through this, and, their kids are already grown up, I felt like I was actually able to be related to, and that my ideas were validated. It really helped a lot, speaking to some of these parents that, I really trust their opinions. Anyway, so once all that happened, the emotions of it, I could just feel it on me. So by that night, I was just incredibly emotionally tired. Um, I concluded that it had a lot to do with my thoughts and the messages, and just starting the pills, it just gave me like a real subdued feeling and a dull headache. So, I mean, not only that, um, I was told by someone during the whole message, I got a separate message from someone who told me that um, they didn't like what I had to say, and they felt like I was calling them out. And, I tried my best to, convey my thoughts and feelings about, what we all probably need to try to do to help one another. But in the end, I was told that I was being dramatic. Um, you know, I gotta say, I'm really proud of the fact that, you know, I haven't been traumatic for a long time. And I haven't made anyone unhappy for a super long time. So that really made me feel good. I mean, it's not like I ever want that to happen, but let's face it, in life, when you're around a lot of people, it's bound to happen. And so you got to figure out ways, to deal with it. Um, anyway, I just felt like, perhaps maybe after all this past year of stuff that I had been going through, I just was tired of things being placed on me, and I felt like for once I just kind of wanted to stick up for myself. But anyway, to address the drama comment, I really had to think about that and think about how, okay, what exactly does my life consist of here? I get up, I do things for the shop, I write, I read a devotion, I prep for dinner, I prep for practices, prep food for stuff. I was, actually dealing with a lot of car stuff. I tend to appointments. I don't talk to many parents at practices. It's not that I don't want to. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk to other parents that really know a lot about sports because I really don't. So I don't try to pretend I do. I wish I did. And so, and I barely even talk, on group messages. But, in that particular incident, I did. So I guess when I thought about my blog name, Unmaking a Mess, I think it fits me pretty well because I think I'm trying to unmake a mess now. Um, but now to this particular date, I feel better about things. During this particular time, which is a couple weeks old, it was really hard on me emotionally and it took a lot out of me. But I had to realize that what I won't deal with is negativity or when somebody talks about others or an entire group completely. I especially don't want it done in front of my daughter, um, especially when she's already, feeling frustrated. Because I feel like if we're talking negatively as parents in front of kids, it's going to skew their views about stuff and even cause them themselves to look down upon themselves or down upon others. And I don't want that done. I don't want that done around my daughter. I really try hard to keep things uplifted, for her and realize that, you can't just back out. That's not the way to go. And you don't just complain about a situation without having a solution. And that solution may mean, you got to work your butt off and you got to model the behavior that you want to see. So, in addition, before all this even happened, I actually had my daughter watching this movie called Greater. It was about the walk-on player that played for the University of Arkansas. And you just got to look it up because it was a tremendous movie about this young man who was a strong example of someone who dealt with tons of negativity and bullying, but he kept being himself and being positive and kept his focus on the Lord and his family and his goals. And as a result, by being that strong independent player, even though his thoughts didn't always align with others, he was actually able to gain a lot of respect from his team and coaches. And he even got some of the players to, attend Bible studies. I don't know the plans that God has for my daughter. But sometimes I do really, really believe that, God places us in these areas where we are uncomfortable in order to see how well we will handle it. So, I told my daughter to forget about how someone talks about stuff. And, just keep being a hard worker and positive and a player that can really shine a light on the court. And, not only that, to kind of, get sidetracked here, she did attend like this camp that had, college coaches. And it was a question that I asked the coaches, and I said, hey, what if you have one player that really takes things serious and a handful of other players that do, but then you've got others that kind of play around a lot or something, can this one player that really wants to be seen by recruiters, is it possible for them to still be seen? And the coaches said, yeah, absolutely. It's not like college coaches have to go like to these top tier teams. As long as the player is getting themselves out there and doing all they can to be noticed, they have to do their part too, and they can draw the attention, of college coaches. And so I think that was really good for my daughter to hear, because, I want her to stay positive, and I want her to believe in herself and know that, she can be an example to others. And that's what is super important. We can't just go around complaining about stuff, and, we can't do that. I think as, parents, I think if you're unhappy, I think you either need to move on or you need to find a solution. And sometimes the solutions are really hard to absorb, because it does involve kind of going out of your comfort zone and doing things that, maybe really have to make you put in the extra work. So anyway, I really hope and pray that eventually that does come across positively. But anyway, I have a life that I have to deal with as a single parent. So, it's darn near impossible for me to have a lot of drama in my life. I think the most drama I had in my life recently was the car issue, which it wasn't drama on others. It was just our own set of issues that we had to deal with. And it was an expense that I didn't want to have to go through, but we did. I know what drama is like, and I know it's like when two people cannot get along and each one has family and friends they go to with their problems, or when alcohol is involved. So, it can cause you to make you lose your filter and say and do a lot of things that can make you look dramatic. Trust me, I absolutely know what that is absolutely like. And so I had to face that, for quite a while. And so I know what that's like, and I know how I had to absolutely get away from it. So now I just try to face a lot of things on my own, which is totally my choice. I may whine or complain, but who doesn't? I know it's on me. So I'm ready to get this blog going and get my posts onto it, which I have already done at this point. So I'm super proud of that. That was a lot of talk about drama and stuff. So I hope I really kept you going on what I was trying to say. I was talking quickly to get through these few days that I had written down. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or tell me that you can relate, because that would mean a lot to me. In the end, a couple of days went by, and I wrote down that I was slowly getting used to my meds. My words and my thoughts were becoming more concise. My body just was not keeping up. I felt more dulled, and my enthusiasm for certain things just had gone downhill, and it felt waned, if that makes sense. It just didn't feel very good, but I still know what I need to do. I still continue to do everything I need to do for my girls. It was just kind of real robotic, like making the breakfasts, reading and writing and doing my devotions. So going to the store was probably the hardest thing for me in particular, and it still is, even to this day. So it took everything in me to go to the store the first time after, really getting on this medicine. But I've been to the store a few times. It's still not my favorite thing to do, which I wish it was because I used to really like it. Um, but then again, December really ran my money down, and so that didn't help any. Um, I used to have I used most of my money, extra money, on Christmas, but at least, my girls got some nice things that I know that they could use. But anyway, after the issue with the other parent calling me out, I kind of came to the conclusion that between the meds and getting used to things and my thoughts becoming more aligned with who I am, which is a good thing, I kind of, and with the advice of some parents that I really trust, I really felt good about my views for myself and my daughter, and decided that, I don't like negativity. I don't like complaints that are not substantiated with a resolution. And I convey that on to my girls too. It's like if you're going to complain about something or feel bad about something, you got to find a solution for yourself and be that example. So if you're going to complain, have a solution and go for it, because the worst that's going to happen is it's not going to work out, or you have to find other ways of getting around it. But at most, you've got to put in the work. So that is my blog, my post, my video for you at this time, and I'm at 21 minutes. I'm so sorry. Please subscribe and share, and thank you so much for listening. I'm super excited about these because I'm getting views on them, and it means a lot to me that you guys are hopping on here. So please share this, subscribe, and I'm going to keep pressing on and believing in me and my girls, because I think that's what God wants me to do, and share his word with you as well. God bless you all. Take care. I'm out of here for the night.